All right, once again, thanks everybody for being so patient. Got one last game for y'all this morning. I actually didn't anticipate having to run this one this year because played it last year and definitely killed it. But definitely don't mind leading in and out of some jank with some more jank. So this is Batman Forever Arcade. This game is honestly a game a lot of people don't even know exists. Played it last year as Robin, which I'll be doing again today. Haven't really changed much on the run, but I have been able to play it quite a bit faster. Like my PB a year ago was like 4 minutes slower than the one I have now, and there haven't really been any true time saves found. It's just overall better play, better grouping and stuff. Difficulty is going to be on easy. For those that aren't aware, this game is actually harder on the easier difficulties because you this game has a meter mechanic that's very important for being able to finish it. And the easier the difficulty, the slower your meter drains. And the reason that's important is because as your meter drains, when you try to build it back up, you're trying to actually improve your resources. Like, for example, when you build your meter back up, you gain a power-up that kills everything on the screen, and you get health back. So being able to do that less makes the game a lot harder. Whereas on hard, you just go through every stage and kill like 3 enemies, then you get to kill every enemy. So it's probably faster, but it's definitely not as... It's definitely like a lot less difficult. So I want to show it on the hardest difficulty, and we get the most cool combos this way, which is going to be important for that neat little Riddler emote you all have there. Whew. Played this game a lot of marathons this year. It's so much fun. Go ahead and fire up. Now, there are diehard Batman players. I have only messed with them a little bit. I'm not particularly good with them yet, so I'm not going to trust that. And we'll stick with Robin at 3, 2, 1, go.
Robin.
The scariest thing about this game is, regardless of what difficulty you're playing on, this game can just take a 1cc away from you at the drop of a hat. Because enemies have random damage output. Anything they hit you with can do 5% damage or it can kill you. And you really have no way of knowing. The best way to know is just don't let it happen in the first place. First move you're going to be seeing here is the dive kick. Very important tool. It's both our movement option, best movement option I should say, and a combo starter. I did not want to get hit by that. I got trapped. A little sketch. I think I messed that up. Should be okay, but it's still annoying. Alright, got some of my health back. Now we're back up to full meter. We get access to something really silly.
Our kind of day.
Dodge these motorcycles. That shrinking is actually scripted, so it's supposed to happen that way. Don't know how I missed that dive kick, but okay. So now we have access to dive kick as a combo starter. We're going to use this to do this flip kick ad nauseum. And just get as many as we want out of these. Hello there, Liz. Great to see you. Didn't expect to get 100 before I got a 40. So the game also has memes that it throws out when you get a certain number of hits. In this game's case, it's either 40 or 100. No in between. Let me get these power-ups real bad. Okay, that'll work. We got our meter back, which is cool. Gonna also start fishing for some gadgets. Gadgets are important to have because you're gonna want to use them when you go below full meter. When you reach down to 2 bars, like right now I'm at 3, but if we go down to 2 at any point, we're gonna have some work to do. And the best way to take out enemies is not by doing your combo because you actually won't be able to maintain it. We'll abuse it as much as we can. Last little segment isn't too tricky, it's just some dudes. Want that power up, but okay. Game's weird sometimes. That barrel actually saved me. That guy had to jump it, he couldn't dash at me. When those mask guys run in on screen like that, they actually have a hitbox for when they're inbound. It's really important to be able to dodge that. So this is also rigged. These guys are going to be small. We're going to step on them. Get their power-ups. This stage is actually really dangerous past this first segment. Guy just hit me there. You also notice at the end of the last stage, we got a selection of power-ups to choose from. We always choose Hollow Mode. Hollow Mode's really good. It looks really funny because it gives us this hologram. And we get to spin around the dance floor like that. Also does a really good job of draining our meter. It drains it faster than it would be if we didn't use Hollow Mode. Give us the supernova power, take everything out. If I can get a 40 hitter here. I don't think I've heard it yet. There we go. How dare I deny that to all of you? I'm the worst. Where are my manners? Alright, so flexes we're going to see a number of times over the course of the game. They're the most dangerous mass enemy by quite a bit. Primarily because they have the gun. The gun's a problem. Gun can just kill you by touching it. Bounce on these guys. Take the back call. Back call is the best gadget. Definitely plan to make use of it. This game's definitely amazing. This game was secretly everything I wanted in a beat 'em up, but I didn't know it until I played it. It's like a Marvel fighting game in a beat 'em up. It's so much fun. It definitely is. This game was actually developed by Acclaim, who developed all the home ports of MK games. That's not good. I need gadgets. Okay, that'll work. I think this was actually the lead into MK4, but it wasn't like Ed Boon and those guys designing this. It was a developer named Iguana, who is a subsidiary of Acclaim. They were responsible for all the home ports of the NBA Jam games. The taser. Mostly wanted taser just because batarangs were out. I liked batarangs better, but I get more tasers. The trick about gadgets is that when you have that was unfortunate. When you have a gadget and you get another gadget, you lose the previous gadget. Like it just completely overwrites all that you have. You can't store more. So like if I have one batarang and pick up taser, then I suddenly have taser instead. Took a lot of damage this stage, so I'm kind of regretting that a little bit. If I can get down to 2 here, it's probably going to be hard and not possible, but I'm going to try. Best efforts, can do it. No big deal. To me, the most interesting thing about this game is this game was developed on a Sega arcade board called the Titan, which is essentially just a Sega Saturn. But yet the Sega Saturn port I'm talking today, port of this game was really bad. Like, it was actually worse than the PlayStation Home port, which also had its problems. They both suffer from, like, excessive load times, which is, like, what it is, you know, it is a product of the time. But the Saturn version also has more slowdown. And again, this is built on a board that's a Saturn. I don't understand why that happened, but here we are. I'm gonna try to get down to 2 here. So the big thing to watch out here for is this crane. It's a one-shot. It will kill us if it falls on us. It can also fall on enemies, which looks really funny sometimes, like you saw there. I never used Hollow Mode. No wonder I wasn't draining meter quickly. Alright, so for the copter's kind of obnoxious. It can't actually hit us. Even the gunfire can't hit us. But we still have to kill it quickly because if we don't, it's going to drop enemies on us, and that's when things get really bad.
That's impressive.
And that's not what I need. Alright, so here's where things are going to get scary. We've only got 3 lives, so this is almost always where I lose the first one. This stage is really hard.
Boys, kill the bat.
I really wanted that taser. Turn time. Okay, there we go. That'll give us a little bit of health back. Drop that down. At this point, I'm mostly just scared just because I just don't have a lot of health. And these enemies all charge in from off screen, so they're gonna be an issue. Like when they're dashing in like that, they have a hitbox and they do a lot of damage, so I hope for the best here. It's just most noteworthy for having this little corridor that comes coming up the stairs. Which isn't really fun to have to deal with, because inclined planes and beat 'em ups are gross. Like super duper gross. Not a fan. That guy will need to go. Right, what's unfortunate here is that while I do have... Okay, we're better off. I was going to say, while I do have a gadget, it's the grapple gun, which is one of the lesser gadgets for Robin. Stun bomb being the only one that's worse, which is why I'm not getting that. Right, Flex here needs to go. Flex is just such a troll. He'll stay up there and throw grenades and shoot bullets at me to his heart's content until I approach him. Now into some enemies that are going to become regular enemies. Currently just bosses. Here we have this thing that was definitely not an enemy in the movie. It was just some robot droid that Riddler invented to answer his questions. But they're gone now, so we can move on. Also pretty good on resources, so not super unhappy about that. Now the game truly begins. Going into the underground. This is where we start getting really cool things like random power-ups, better enemy groupings, things like that. That was unfortunate. Cool thing is we can cancel out a wake-up by just jumping. Pretty useful too, because when you jump, you can get dive cover. I don't know if I wanted that, but okay. It's now hope for hollow mode. I didn't want VR mode; they were already dead. VR mode's normally very useful because it turns every enemy into a one-hit KO, but they were all already going to die because I'm powered up. Indestructible, on the other hand, is extremely good. The truest Batman rogue and Feather. Actually kind of annoying because he can block with his staff, but took care of it in short order. Gonna get rid of this bomb, Batman 66 style. Stage is more or less the same as the previous one was. Gonna hollow mode right away and try to drain.
That's impressive.
Not sure how I'm feeling this. Still don't like this. Gonna do backhaul. Backhaul's really strong. Basically tags everything on screen and generally kills it. Love the fact that you like have item interaction and it's very Batman 66 inspired, especially with the bomb. Get the grapple gun just so I have a gadget. Always better to have a gadget than no gadget, even though stun bomb is trash. I want that power up though. It's fine. Bomb's gonna be inconsequential. I'm not gonna go over there. It can hurt enemies too, but I'm just gonna make it not effective. Oh, cool! They threw a box at me. How nice. Not good. Lariat coming. Right down probably as well. Got that indestructible just in time. Those bullets would have killed me. I was mad lucky. Alright, there is some health coming up here. I hope I can get it before I get tagged. Oh, I gotta fight him in the pit first, I guess. Cool. Got pretty lucky there. It can. You want to make sure you're getting your flip kick going. Flip kick is obviously very important. It's pretty easy to do. You only have to do the fireball motion with the kick button one time, and then you can just mash kick. Then, of course, you can jump cancel out of it as well to get another loop going. I will say, though, if you try to play this game like any other beat 'em up, it's not going to be very fun. You essentially have to play it with all this crazy tech that's Abide within it, or else you're probably not going to get a whole lot out of it. But when you do, one of my favorite games. Their clocks, Sugar and Spice is just a really short boss fight. They're pretty meaningless. You just beat them, move on. To our alleyway. There's a couple things that can go wrong here that I'm hoping don't. Move over here. If that car hits us, we're in trouble. But the flip kick gives us invincibility when we're in blue, so we can avoid that. Oh yeah, most definitely a grappling hook, yes. It'd make more sense if he had superpowers though, because why else would he get to supernova everything? Don't want a tiny guy being able to do lariat. That health. Or don't. I don't know how I didn't obtain that, but okay. That was really weird. Now we're in a bit of a spot. There's a lot of enemies here. I'm trying to not use flip kick too much, and I kind of want to keep it free just until I get to the bosses. We're gonna have just a bevy of enemies to fight as bosses here. Female enemies are actually really dangerous. Those knives they throw are just insane in terms of damage, and they have a really good dash punch. Isn't it though, in regards to hollow mode? Still didn't get back up to 3. Or 2 back up to 3. Can't even snag. Oh, wait, well, yes, yeah, I can, I guess. So our health sucks. Which means I'm going to try and get down to 2 as quickly as I can to try to get back up to 3. And that's pretty much a lot of what this game comes down to, is just proper meter management. Hard part is once you get down to 2, you have to have a plan. You either need to make sure you kill everything on the screen and take all their power-ups, or you can have a gadget. Oh god, get out of my way. That's where things start getting hectic. I also love the sound this car makes when you land on it. As they're displaying for me. Well, that's gonna be scary. There'll be a bunch of enemies that come in here. Oh, that was way too clutch. I don't know how I got away with that. I should probably be dead. But that was incredibly generous, and I'll take it. Alright, that's, I think, rigged. I'm gonna go take them out here. Probably see a lot more different bevy types of enemies than what you see in the first few stages by this point, but haven't got to talk about them too much because they're usually dead by the time I'm ready to talk about them. I was hoping for 14 smiles. Favorite quote in the game. Ooh, I got stun bomb. No, it's bad. What did I give up to get that? So this game is just so friggin' neon. Look at this madness. Like a non-stop rainbow. Throw that box at me, I'm doing flip kicks. Oh, that's bad. That's where gun gets to be problematic, is when things like that happen. Clear that out. So a couple bosses here. Mohawk is basically just another feather. Dude with the staff. And Tassel wants his rematch. Not a huge deal, we'll give it to him. Tassel's usually not a big problem. His damage output's really high, but he can be dealt with. He can't really fight your iframes. Alright, so once again, stay with me. Our health is bad, but we had the resources to make it work. Onto the back cave. Hardest stage in the game by a pretty good amount. Right here. Give me what I want, but not quite. Move over here. Again, my goal is I want to get down to 2 so I can get back up to 3. So I'm going to just spend a little time doing that and drain it. I guess I got punched there. It sucks, but can't do much about it. Getting hit by Lariat is also unfortunate. That's one death out of 3 that were allowed. Oh, there. Visibility is pretty worthless. Definitely do not want that here. Visibility just renders it to where the enemies can't see you, but it's an arcade game. Of course they can see you. They know exactly where you are, so it does nothing. Back to indestructible, where we're just completely invincible, and that's awesome. Okay, I'll take that. I just wanted to make sure I got back to 3 before I went back to the car. And the unique twist for this stage, we actually have to go all the way back to the right to trigger a cutscene. Carry drops a bomb. Let these master enemies deal with us. Go quick, big heavy. The part that's really scary here is the fact that I have no way to obtain a gadget from here, like at all. We'll be able to get a ton of meter, but no gadgets. And I kind of want both. I think I could have better meter management here than the game would think I could. But I definitely want to have a gadget. No question. We're not going to get one, so we're just going to have to rely on our wits and our inputs. If I get down to 2, I might be able to make something work. Or not. Almost went down to 2. We tried. So this stage can go one of 2 ways. Things can get really bad, or we can get a decent amount of, I shouldn't say cooperation, but essentially what you want is just to not get hit. That's the ultimate goal. And that in itself can be rather challenging. Perfect example. That lariat is ridiculous. Want that? There we go. Okay, that helps. Well, here's the funny thing about that, and this is theoretical. I think it was BBH that shed some light on this, so I'll throw it out here as well. I think that the developers didn't intend for the players to be able to do, that was unfortunate. I didn't think they intended for the player to be able to do as many crazy combos as what you're seeing here. But it turns out it is the case. So they wanted it to be like a reward, but being able to get it all the time means just not a very well-programmed game in that regard. But it's fine. Everything's fine. We're fine. Didn't want to get hit by that. Here we have, in my opinion, the hardest boss fight in the game, the Monarch Bat. I think it's supposed to represent the Batman, or the Bat of Bruce Wayne's nightmares or something. I really don't know. Here he is just hiding in the Bat Cave the whole time. Kind of a troll. Has really good attacks. We can only hit him with these super batarangs, similar to how we hit the copter. Gotta make sure I dodge these fireballs. That's the most important thing. If they dodge fireballs, need to get hit by a fireball. This is really scary all of a sudden. I'm on my last life and I'm messing up a lot of these inputs here. Better play it safe. Only a few more hits, thankfully. Alright, cool. Alright, so the scary part now is we're going to the final gauntlet and I don't have 3 bars. So some things are gonna need to go right here for me to be able to make this clear. Hollow mode for a little bit. Okay, that's a good start. Yeah, the life losses happen pretty fast, that's for sure. Definitely take that back ball, I will definitely need that. Then get down to 2 from here. Works. Still at hollow mode act, so that's great. Alright, cool. Feel better now because now I have a lot of health to work with. Drop that guy. Essentially, this whole last bit is just a gauntlet of Riddler's doing. Like, he's just gonna sit atop their pedestal, troll us with his walking animations, which are brilliant. I'm a big fan of them for sure. Asshole gets his final rematch, moves on. Also, if we stand still, the room does rotate around us. Mashers can be obnoxious. The green one's not so bad. The purple one has the yo-yo, which otherwise would be whatever. The red one's the real issue. That guy can grab you, he's fast. We managed to take care of him, though. This movie is definitely not aged well. It has some unintentionally funny stuff, but it's pretty bad. But it made a ton of money, so there's that. It was marketed very, very well. They wanted to sell toys, and it definitely did. Take out the group of mashers. So for our bots, just chain all this together. Sure. Didn't expect that to happen. I only have a few more waves of enemies here. Here we have the Mohawks and the Feathers. I also like the fact that these guys acknowledge Robin. They actually call him Bird Boy. Most of the other enemies in this game acknowledge it just like as if you're playing Batman. We're not doing that. Robin deserves credit too, you know. Bad. Okay, so for the Riddler here, I'm gonna have one thing to do: throw the super batarang at his little walkway. We get this nice little cutscene. Beam of light always gets me for some reason.
Finally, justice is served!
With Harvey Dent being our final boss, I think he'd be super difficult, but he's just like any other enemy. Just gonna have to get in and kick him to death, and that'll be a 1cc. Bye, Harvey. Will not be missed. And to sign it off with the same I did last year, the COCL. The Coin Op Classic. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed that. 24:42 is not a bad time. I think that's slightly less than a minute shy of my current PB, which is like a high 23. So not too bad. But yeah, this is one of those games that I just love being able to show off, especially in an arcade-style environment. It's an incredible piece of jank that happens to play fairly well, despite all of its problems. But yeah, second year in a row for a 1cc. Not too bad. And good news, everyone, it looks like Liz is finally going to be on deck. So we'll get Super Locomotive going here soon, along with the rest of her runs. Don't mind the timer. I had to tune in a couple things. And yeah, stick around. Liz will be up shortly with... Oh, it's not your fault at all. As I mentioned at the start, we had a lot of runs prior to this that went a little short, so we just had to fill some time. That's definitely not on Liz. She was here exactly on time. So yeah, everybody enjoy the rest of the marathon. I'll be back a bit later this afternoon with some more beat 'em ups, and I will catch you later. Take care, everybody.